Good afternoon and welcome everybody to welcome to Shaping Journalism's Future, a joint event brought to you by DCU and the Broadcast Authority of Ireland. My name is John Mullholland. I am editor of The Observer, but more importantly I'm a graduate of DCU from many years ago when it was catchily titled NIHE, the National Institute for Higher Education, and was in the first group of students who came here to study in 1983 and from there ended up at The Observer. I think the weather has improved since I was last on campus 30 years ago, and I don't remember sitting around eating brunches, but anyhow, it's a timely participation for me because it was only yesterday, for various family reasons, that I was going through all of my notes from what was then NIHE, and I amazed myself at how well I had kept my notes for the 3 years, including marked essays. I might have a word with some people later about that who might still be here, but various notes and cuttings and whatnot. And what occurred to me was that although the provision of news has changed drastically in terms of the delivery and the technology, there remains a whole suite of issues that don't change, and that's to do with politics and culture. And I suspect today that as much as we're talking about delivery platforms and technology, there will be also some discussion about the impact of news provision on democracy and citizenship. And 33 years on, those issues remain as acute as I think they were in the days when I was walking through here. There are, I suppose, three reasons that today's gathering is particularly timely. One is the report from the Reuters Institute, its digital news report, which was published last week. That is a report by the Reuters Institute for the Study of Journalism at the University of Oxford, and it's probably the largest data set about how people access news currently. And it's the fourth year that the report has been published, but it's the first year, importantly, that Ireland has been included. And that inclusion has been facilitated by the Broadcast Authority of Ireland. And your speakers in the first session will address the implications of that data set, both internationally and domestically. Secondly, we're going to see the launch of the Institute for the Future of Media and Journalism today. And there is a panel discussion on what trends are shaping the future of journalism and what are the implications for a whole host of issues. And thirdly, one of the reasons for gathering is the rather electric issue, particularly in Ireland, of media ownership and plurality. And I don't need, as somebody who lives in London, to refer to recent news events, although some of them obviously weren't covered, which of course is relative to the issue. And I understand there might well be some people in the audience with a view on that, or maybe not. So we have three discussions around those three issues, and there will be a coffee break after the second one. The first is going to deal with the Reuters Institute Digital News Report. The second will deal with plurality and media ownership. There'll be a coffee break, and there will be a panel discussion then on trends in journalism and what it means, and that will be followed by the official launch of the Institute for Future of Media and Journalism. There are various panelists to hear, but I would hope that the contributions from the audience are as frequent and as relevant, and so we will certainly be inviting you to join in the discussion, and I hope you do. There are a number of roving mics, and so at the point where we take questions, if you just put up your hand and wait for the mic to come to you. Okay, without further ado, let us move on to the first speaker. It's David Levy, who started life as a journalist at the BBC, firstly on the World Service, before moving to a raft of positions across BBC Radio and TV, including File on 4 and Newsnight. He then was, until 2008, Director of Public Policy at the BBC, where he took a lead role in the Charter Review and Charter Renewal. At the Reuters Institute, he has a particular brief to look at current developments in journalism, but obviously with his background is particularly aware of issues around public policy and media regulation. But he is going to talk us and walk us through the Reuters Institute Digital News Report published last week. Please welcome David Levy.